Hello there, welcome to this little video that we are going to do this time on purchase order maintenance. If you recall, we had a brief video on sales order entry, and I kind of say brief, a little tongue-in-cheek, because unfortunately sales order entry is one of the most complicated things we do in sales orders, in SL specifically, so it was about a 20-minute video. This one will not be nearly as long. So purchase order maintenance is what you do when you set up a purchase order because you are ordering something for stock from a vendor. Note, this does not involve special orders, but I will show you how, if you have to order special orders and stock together on one purchase order, how you can do that and make notes and documentation for your purposes and for your vendor's purposes. But again, this is ordering stock items in general. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the inventory module. Again, as I've said in other videos, please note that what you see over here on the left of my screen is likely different than what you will see on the left of your screen under the modules. However, you will see an inventory tab. Okay, so click that. And then over here in the upper section, you're going to click purchasing. This will get you into the purchasing side of the inventory module. To set up a purchase order, you go to purchase order maintenance. Single click to open up that screen, and you will notice that it automatically puts you in the PO number field. You do not put anything in here when you are first setting up a PO. If you were needing to go in and research one that was already set up, you could key in a purchase order number there, or you can hit F3 and do a search for a purchase order. Okay. So here I'm setting up a brand new purchase order. I'm going to pretend that I'm ordering my ever favorite V-belts. I really enjoy the V-belts because they're easy to find, and I just really enjoy using V-belts as my guinea pigs. So that's what we're going to pretend that we're doing. You will notice as you tab through, you're going to tab past everything over here on the right. Those items don't change. If you're the user, your name's going to can in there. If it's Sunrise, Sunrise is going to can in there, right? Vendor ID is where we want to be, and that is where the tab took us. So if you know your vendor ID, your 6-digit vendor ID, you can automatically key that in, or you can hit F3 to do a search. Just like any other screen where you are searching, you can search names by activating the name column by clicking on the header that says name, and you can type in part of a vendor name. In this case, I'm ordering from Sooner Rubber. I pull that up. Notice it tabs me automatically down here to the shipping info tab. It's asking me what site I am bringing these into. In this case, I'm pretending I'm in Garden City, so I am going to put 015. And notice it cans in Garden City's name, address, and phone numbers. Okay. My next thing, my vendor information tab has automatically filled in. I don't even have to land on it. Other information is where it's going to can in today's date for my PO date. And you'll notice that the terms are going to be set to 30. That is based off of what the default is in the system for the terms that we have agreed upon with our vendors. Please note, if you negotiate special terms with a vendor, like let's say they're going to give us a discount on a certain sale, or they need us to pay within 15 instead of 30 days, you would change that right here in the terms field. Otherwise, you just simply let it default. If you need a buyer's email address to show on the printed purchase order, you would type in your email address right here. Good rule of thumb. However, if you forget, just realize that means that your email address will not appear anywhere on this PO. You have to manually enter it. The billing address, this should automatically default to 001. If you are setting up a PO and it does not automatically default to 001, you will need to change it and make us aware in Wichita. You can let the corp admins know, or you can let myself or Ryan know, and we will go in and we will set that vendor up to always have invoices come to Wichita. We are centralized. That's where they need to go. They do not come to you. They come to us. If we cannot match it up to something, we will get you involved. But we are the first step of the process, not the last. Help us ensure we're getting our bills paid on time. Okay. You're going to tab over to the line items now, and notice I just used my cursor and I just clicked on the header. Just like in sales order entry, we're going to put in our item numbers that we're purchasing. Again, I don't know the item numbers, so I can hit F3, and I know the belts always start with belt. So I can type that in and at least get me into the range. if I didn't know that, I didn't know that belts always start with belts, I could look up the item by coming over here to orders and then inventory item lookup. The screen is also on other places, but this is where I always default to because that's where it started out. That's where it used to live. This screen can be found other places, but this is always a sure bet. So I could come over here to description and I could say, notice that's a percent symbol. It's called wildcard symbol. And I could put in the word belt. And then I come down here and click refresh. Every item number ever that contains the word belt will be listed. And I can search through until I find it. I can also do like this. Let's say that I know it's a C158. There's the C158. Now notice I can't grab this number and put it into the purchase order screen from here, but I can sure grab the number in my head and copy it over. Or from within this screen, click Find Item. And notice this screen is exactly what I was just working on, but opened up automatically. So just know, within SL, some screens can be entered from different ways, different areas of the system. So even though you got to this one from the PO maintenance screen, it is the exact same screen as the other one we went to from order management, and it mirrors the one that's in the inventory module as well. So same screen, same process, same abilities to work with it, just a different location. Okay, so in my case, it's 102 or 10328. That is what I'm ordering. Notice my site ID automatically canned in as 015 because that's who I'm ordering for. And I'm going to order 50 of these things. Okay. The unit cost will automatically can in the last purchased unit cost from this vendor. That is an important distinction to make. If you sometimes have to order from Austin versus Sooner Rubber versus Optibelt or anything like that, the pricing will be based off of the vendor history. So just know, this $35.91 is Garden City's last purchase price of the C158 belt. If they haven't purchased those for years, that cost will be what they paid years ago. That cost is not what they're going to pay today. You should always, always, always ask for pricing when you place orders. Ask for a confirmation, ask for an email telling you your pricing so you can immediately come in here and change this price. You may not know right now as you're creating your purchase order, but you need to be sure these costs are correct based off what you will pay right now today for these belts. Okay, so let's say I called my vendor. I have him on the phone right now. He tells me they're $25 a piece. I would put that in. I now have a new extended cost of $12.50. If that's all I'm ordering, very simple. I just click print priced. It's going to tell me this requires saving, and I'm going to say yes. That will now give me a PO number. It's going to pop up this little print PO box. All I do is just click print PO and begin processing, and it will spit out a printed purchase order on the printer that is my default. I can then go throw that over at the scanner, scan it over to myself if I need to. I can fax it to someone if I need to. I can also reprint this purchase order and I can send it in a PDF. So you've got a couple different options for a way to send a purchase order. Now, that was a priced option, and that does work for confirmation purposes to send to your vendor. If you were needing to print it unpriced for any reason, you could do that from within here. There's different instances where you want to do each one. Look for guidance from Campbell and Ginger as to how it needs to be done. 9 times out of 10, it's priced, so you can confirm your pricing. However, there are some you may not be able to do that with. Okay, after I've ran my purchase orders, it's going to ask me if I want to keep them or delete them. It's always begin processing. It's just one of those processes you just have to do to move on. Okay. And when I'm done, I simply close out. Very, very simple concept. Now, if I'm ready to receive this material, it's the same module, so inventory, purchasing, and then right below that is PO receipt entry. That will be a different video that we will do here shortly, but for now, you have learned how to maintain a purchase order. If you need to go in and make changes to a purchase order, and this comes up when you order something and then you have to get something different, something has changed, you simply open the purchase order screen like you originally did, If you have your PO in front of you, you can manually key, or you can F3 and you can search for a PO number here. I have mine in front of me and I know it's this one. Let's say it's been canceled. I can come over here under status and I can say canceled. Order's never coming in. I can save. That PO number will no longer come up as on order. So if I toggle back and forth here, which takes me just a couple seconds, this purchase order is no longer valid. So I can go ahead and close out. And if I were to look at this item number in transaction inquiry, status inquiry, it will not show them on order anymore. So if you ever have an order cancel on you, be sure you're closing it out. If you return an item and you don't want that item to appear to need to be reordered and have come back in, you need to cancel that line. A couple different things that we can go over in PO receipts. So if you have any questions, always remember to ask Corp Admin or Ryan or myself.